Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show. Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. In spite of the all the mysteries of all the incidents, a week ago we're talking about derailment. 3 days ago we're talking about the police shooting death to a homeless guy, right? Once again, and yesterday, last show, we talked about the LA city transparency of its budget, basically. So today, let's lose up a little bit, all right?
Yeah.
Let's get something entertaining enough to face our audiences with a smiling face, okay? So the subject is our Mars mission, call it the Mars Immigration, or call it Immigration to Mars, call it exploration, call it the first settlers, whatever, or you may call. So join me in the discussion about a great Mars immigration is my good friend, Mr. Ken Hamming. I believe that you know him more than you do me.
Thank you for letting me be here.
All right. Once again, welcome to the show.
So much an honor for me to share myself with your viewers.
First, when I heard about the Mars immigration program, I was excited.
Okay.
And later, when I started to learn about that's a one-way street, that's a point of no return, a mission no return, I hesitated. And later, when I shared my thoughts, my concerns with somebody who seems to know more than I do, about stuff leaving the Earth, global Earth, I get worried. And now when I hear all the opposite directions, right, and even the criticisms, and I started to get, hesitating in laying my trust in the program. So what is your overall take about the program, please?
Well, I don't have hesitation in being excited about fantasies becoming reality.
Right. Okay.
And that's what's happened. And I go back to the very basics, Jack, of exploration. When people came to America from England, they had no idea what they were coming to. And they had no intention of going back. When people from the West Coast came out and we settled, from the East Coast came out and settled the West, they had no intention of going back. And I can understand it logically and also in terms of physical materials. We don't have the technology to go there and come back, and the amount of money where they say, $100 million or something to try to get somebody over there for a short time and come back. So it's an exploration, a settlement where we would be a multi-planet species in the universe.
All right.
And I'm excited. Of course, there's risk, but so is walking across the street.
All right. Okay. Looking from a historical perspective, right? Looking from an evolutionary perspective, I would say that's a positive move, right? But to consider it, to evaluate it in a sober-minded, I find it still too early. Still too early. Because you mentioned about exploration. For example, during Christopher Columbus' time, people did not know what they are facing into.
Correct.
Right? What waiting for them. Okay.
Right.
Now everything remains unknown. Right? Unknown. But the only thing known are the threes. Number one, there will be water. Number three, there will be air, right? Number two, there will be air. Number three, there will be sunlight. Am I right?
Well, yes.
All right, that's the three basics.
Okay.
And in addition to three basics, they will know, of course, they are still on the global Earth.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, so compared to that time to what it is right now, as versus to the Mars situation, there are knowns, there are known conditions.
Okay.
Right. Well, versus the unknown, there are many knowns.
Okay.
Right. Number one, there is no atmosphere that holds anything. Right.
Well, there's no atmosphere on the moon. There is an atmosphere on Mars now.
Very
about holding
limited.
it. Yeah.
Very limited. And there's
existing.
about 1/3 of gravity
Yes.
versus the Earth, what is on Earth.
Correct.
Right? For water, you have produced your own. You have dig wells, whatever.
They have frozen water in there, yeah.
Right? They have frozen water in there. You have to melt them. Melt the water before
somehow
you can,
transform it, yes.
you can drink,
Yeah.
right? So those are the conditions known to human already.
Okay.
Right. So now, my suspicion, my kind of worry is that with the knowns versus the unknowns, if you put them together from a historical point of view, though, it is not so fair. Am I right?
I don't know what fair means, so I'm not sure what
Fair means that if you apply the Mars situation
Yes, sir.
with as much unknowns as we do with the exploration of the new land
of the Earth.
not of the Earth.
Yeah, the new land.
The Christopher Columbus
Right,
time.
that's what I mean, yeah.
And that is fair.
Yeah.
Now you have those knowns already. You know already where the challenges are. So with the challenges, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Are you putting them in a capsule?
I'm not sure what.
I mean the immigrants.
Oh, they're in transporters, yes.
No, in the capsule. That is the.
Oh,
that
you
is
mean
the-
on Mars?
on Mars?
They
Are
would
you
be
putting
in
them there?
yeah, they would be in livable capsules.
With limited space or unlimited space?
Limited space, about 500 feet per couple.
500 feet per couple.
Yeah.
And anything else?
Well, yeah, two rovers, two vehicles that will have a 50-mile radius of exploration potential.
All right. So that in other words, that the 500 square feet, that's it. That's the whole thing. Am I right?
Per couple, they would be lined up as the population expanded.
All right. Where do they produce gravity?
Well, like it has 38% or whatever, about a third of the gravity of Earth, and the scientists believe that the human body would be able to adapt to that.
So,
but that's
do they
always a good
have
question.
medical proof that with the 38% of gravity, your organs will stay where they are? Your bones, especially your discs, will stay next to each other
Well,
or one another.
yeah, because we haven't tested anybody for 20,
No,
for a
by
20-year
theory,
basis.
by theory.
By theory, they think it
Human
will.
know enough.
By theory, they think it's sufficient.
I have made a call, my
Yeah.
first approach to a spine specialist,
Okay.
Vivian Chum.
Okay.
She hasn't responded yet.
Okay.
I'll invite her to do a study about at the 38% of gravity, what will happen to the human bone system.
Sure, and I have a beautiful orthopedic doctor that helps me too, and that's so. Yeah, I think that's
Probably
great.
each of us
Sure.
can find. Okay,
Yeah.
now, before we go into that much detail, so
Yes, sir.
do you have a lineup of their schedules, please?
I do,
Yeah,
and I'd
please.
like to share it with
Let's
you because
see,
it's
let's
kind of
see. What's going
interesting.
on?
That they have
What would be going on?
Yeah, they had something that was the original plan, and
Okay.
then there's a modified plan because
okay.
nothing ever goes to perfect plan. Okay,
I know,
just
I
doesn't
know,
happen.
I know.
But so in 2018 they would have the first communication satellite constructed. Okay, in that they had 200,000
Constructed or to construct?
to begin the construction.
To begin the construction, okay.
An exploration vehicle would launch to select the location of the settlement in 2020 to find because they want it to be in a good
2 years
area.
after the
Right.
communication is established.
2022, a supply mission would launch with 2,500 kilograms of food in a modified SpaceX Dragon, which is a vehicle.
2,500
kilograms of
That's
food.
2.5 tons.
Yeah.
Metric.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, right.
All right.
Okay. Then in 2023, 6 additional Dragon capsules and another rover would launch with 2 living units because the first group will be 4 people. 2 life support.
There's 2 couples.
Yeah, 2 life support units and 2 supply units. And then in 2024, SpaceX Falcon Heavy would launch with the first group of 4 colonists. And there were 200,000 people that have applied to try to do this, okay?
right, okay.
And they got it down to 1,000, about 53% men, 47% women. And then the finalists will be selected over the next couple year process. And they'll be in a 7-year program of constant training. Pretty
How
interesting.
many members will be the first settlers?
4.
4, just the 4 of them.
Yes, and then another 4 in
Another
about
4,
yeah.
another
So
4.
we would land there. The first colonists in 2025 would arrive on Mars in a modified Dragon capsule. And in 2026, a second group of 4 colonists, but it's at the end of the year, would be there. And then by 2035, they think they would have 20 settlers on Mars.
20 settlers
it's like,
on
holy
Mars.
cow!
Okay,
I have to stay alive till 2035.
Sure.
Okay.
And each and every one of them understands that is a mission of no return.
Yes, sir.
They will just stay put, right, for the rest of their life on the red planet called Mars.
And for their children, which they were going to try to...
Come on, children. How they produce children?
Well, there's different ways. One is artificial insemination. Some is natural romance. And so they have... There's a large discussion on it.
Come on.
I know.
I know. The fact of a people reproduction is not only for population. It has pleasure in there.
Sure, it does.
Right?
Yeah.
It's entertainment by some kind.
It has romance.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
And the romance, right?
I hope.
Of course. It's everything combined.
Yeah.
So if you focus the reproduction to the point only as reproductivity, you go back. You drag yourself back to your jungle time.
Well, they also talk about artificial insemination because when they talk about that in the future, so there is some more diversity. Otherwise, there'd be no diversity.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, probably sometime later, when the science are so developed, a man looks into the eye of the woman, she will get pregnant. Who knows?
They think so.
So I'm not looking at you.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me strange. All right. Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll be again looking at each other. But we want to clarify between men, you may still feel free to look as.
Yes, sir.
Stay with us.